up, everybody? Welcome back to the Duelist 101. We have been away for a little bit, Zach. I would blame it on the weather, but that was before that. So I don't know. What's your excuse?
I got sick Monday night, and I had this terrible headache. I thought I was gonna throw up. It was a good time. It was fun. Recommend.
Dude, are you for real?
Yeah, 100%. Like that actually happened. I called off on Tuesday just because of it. Yeah,
That explains a lot now.
I felt horrendous. It was terrible. Otherwise, I would offer to record them.
Yeah. Well, not as horrendous as some of the cards that we're going to be talking about today.
Uh...
We are going to be doing some more stuff on the ban list. And so you guys have probably seen a lot of these different cards. A lot of different creators have been all about this subject because they are currently out of content due to expecting the ban list to have already happened.
and you haven't seen
Unfortunately,
enough of this.
that's right. So we wanted to give you even more. We wanted to force feed this down your throat. You're welcome, listeners. But what we wanted to do is kind of give our spin on it as far as why certain cards are banned, but in the scope of types of cards, right? Some cards are extremely splashable, some do not allow your opponent to interact. Looking at you, True King of all calamities. Your time is coming. That's the point, though. All these different cards create these just insane board states. And so that's what we wanted to talk about.
That's exactly it. And one of the biggest thing, guys, is some of these are really, really old cards. And so some people wonder why not throw them back into the game. I'd like to reference MPT's video where he took off like 30% of the ban list, and you do with that what you will. I'm pretty sure an FTK won. No, it wasn't. It was a True Draco. That's what it was because of
Yeah,
Masterpiece.
yeah.
Excuse me. In any case, we're going to talk about that card and a whole lot of others here in just a second. This week, we are talking all about monsters. We're super excited for it. And so, we'll be back in just a minute. I totally forgot, dude. Yeah, I'll do that next time. Wouldn't be the first time, Mason. That's okay. All right, man. You ready to get going?
All right, welcome back. Of course, this is Mason here with Zach. I don't know if I actually said that at the beginning, but here it
Definitely
is
did
now.
not.
Like I said, like I said, we wanted to go through these through the ban list and specifically cards that are banned at the time of recording. To the best of my knowledge, guys, we are human. We make mistakes. Please don't hurt us.
It's only kind of unacceptable. Just kind of let us know in the comments, I guess. We just need some sort of interactiveness.
We need guidance. And who better to look to than the Yu-Gi-Oh community?
That's right. That's right. Because you guys don't give fill in whatever word you like there. But
Yeah. That was
guys,
backhanded.
guys, this week, whatever we are talking about. So we are talking about monsters that are on the ban list this week. And one of the biggest things, Mason has done a ton of research. He found a ton of resources. Mason, could you reference that resource real quick for us, just so we know kind of what to look for, at least what to Google in order to figure out exactly where we got our information from? While Mason's looking that up, I do want to mention to you guys some of the categories that we put this in. So usually cards that end up on the ban list, it's for particular reasons that you can sort of categorize a bunch of different cards and say, well, Konami, we found the issue. Stop doing this over and over and over and over and over again. So here is what we have so far. The categories that we have mentioned is this. We have cards that are splashable, so they can go in anything. Non-interactive, like VFD. We have infinite loop cards.
Hold up.
Yep.
We know VFD is not on the list yet.
It needs to be. It better be, dadgummit. I'm tired of not having VFD. So We have infinite loop cards, so cards that have soft once per turns, and people abuse that fact. There are draw power or an advantage cards that create a bit of a imbalance in the game, more so than there usually is with combo decks and 23 negates. We also have token generators, and finally, we have FTK cards. Every single one of those are categories that usually make a card end up on this list, and it's it happens a lot. There's a reason we have a ban list every 3 months.
Yeah.
So Mason, what was that resource that we got?
So this is a collection of articles written by Todash19, Todash 19, on YGOPRODECK. That is YGOProdeck.com. Basically, it's a whole site where you can like post deck lists and you can read blog posts about Yu-Gi-Oh. Really fantastic resource. But if you look up YGO Pro Deck and that author, he has a series of articles called "Why Were They Banned?" and he goes through 4 different parts. He goes through main deck monsters, extra deck monsters, and spells, and lastly traps. Super good resource, and it was written 2 years ago, but it still serves as a fantastic example because like a lot of the older cards I had no idea. I had no idea why they were banned, what had happened. This was a fantastic resource for it. So, want to shout that out. Still writes periodically, so check him out, him or her. You know, I'm not totally sure, but
That author. They do a great job, and we
check
appreciate them.
out Todash 19. They're fantastic.
All right, man. So Mason, I'm gonna go and just kind of run through the categories. We'll mention the names, and you can go over any specific cards that you'd like to talk about. Sound like a plan?
Sounds great to me.
All right, man. So our first category that we mentioned earlier was splashability. Now, to define this, these are cards that go in whatever you feel like putting them in, and that can be a huge issue sometimes. When they are too general, it creates a lot of issues. It creates some problems, and because of that, these cards have ended up on the list, and there's just a few of these. So, Mason, would you mind running through the names, and then you can stop on any ones that you like?
Sure. So some of the nightmare cards. These are Nightmare's Mermaid and Goblin. Nightmare Mermaid and Nightmare Goblin. Both very good cards. Extremely splashable,
A
which make
problem,
them a problem.
a big problem. They're link
Um,
ones.
right. Yeah. I think Goblin allows you to draw a card. Mermaid, I don't know, but it was heavily used in some old Orcust combos, I believe. Basically, these 2 cards would just be absurd material, and they replaced resources totally for free. They were just a little too accessible. All right, for the kind of advantage they were creating. We have Summon Sorceress, Summon Sork, if you'll hear her referred to her like that. Fishborg Blaster. I saw this SEMO video that was like he was going through talking about Fishborg Blaster, and he was talking to his girlfriend about it, and his girlfriend's like, you know, the uh, the goofier the name, the stronger of a card it is. And he goes,
And
yeah,
it's
that's
true.
it. That's it. Fishborg Blaster is similar to how Jet Synchron worked last year. It is summonable by discarding a card. I don't remember if there's a once per turn on it, but it's also a tuner. So talk about an instant Hauki Fibrax, or talk about just link material, right? You got a link 3, and all you need is one more monster. Whoo!
Right.
Use Fishborg Blaster. There's Tribe Infecting Virus. This is a GOAT format staple. Um, Usually, so what it does, you can summon it, uh, and you can declare any monster type and destroy all, I think, face up cards with that type.
That's not
Uh,
bad.
yeah, the issue is that how many people are wanting to waste their normal summon. You know, you
Right.
guys can think what you want. Look up these cards, but honestly, that one could probably come back. Then number 95, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. Dragon Ruler is why that's a problem, but it's also extremely great support for dragons. So we don't want to give dragons too much power. They already have a crap ton.
There you have too much. We don't need it anymore, guys. Ever.
So there are other cards that probably fit on this list, but we probably place them in other places. So, Zach, keep it going, pal.
All right. Next category we got is cards that are uninteractive. One of the best things about Yu-Gi-Oh is how interactive this game is. So if you play Magic the Gathering, they have instants which you can play during either turn, which is great and everything. But man, a 60 card deck's hard to get through. So Yu-Gi-Oh a lot of times can feel incredibly fast paced, incredibly good in that term, in that type of thing. So keeping with that idea, this non-interactive mess is that all these cards are, they just prevent that type of thing. We want to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh where I can interact with what you do at any point and you can interact with what I do at any point. That way it's more of a chess match than a steamroller. And so the first card on our list is, it obviously belongs there. It is a Misk. And wait, wait a
You're,
minute.
Zach, have you read Misk?
You put that in there for just that joke. Now there are some other cards, and we are definitely going to start with this Yatagarasu. Mason, tell us about it.
Yatagarasu, when it deals battle damage to your opponent skips their next draw phase. If they cannot draw cards, then it is much harder for them to succeed.
Absolutely ridiculous. And there's also old cards like Yatagarasu. For example, any of the whatever jars. That the whole purpose is, part of it is some of them create FTK type potential. But in addition to that, they also can make your opponent draw their deck. And that's really annoying as well. And so it creates a lot of issues there. Mason, next card we got is a favorite of a friend of ours, Colossus.
Yep. Droll and Lockbird, basically. Keeps your opponent from adding cards to their hand except by drawing them, which is extremely frustrating.
And then it can't even be destroyed because as soon as you try to destroy it, it just banishes Thunder Dragons from graveyard to restart the loop.
Good. And like fuels their own hand by doing that, I'm sure.
Absolutely terrible. Mason, you do have some specific notes on this one. Double Iris Magician. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so I mean, I really like Pendulum Monsters. I think they're really interesting. Double Iris Magician has been is evidence of the Pendulum Magician format. So what it does, though, the effect's a little complicated, but basically this card by itself can end up with a synchro monster, a rank 4, and like 2 pops because of the cards it searches out all by itself. Ideally, you want to combine it with like Skullcrabat Joker, which is another card that was banned, like for building up that kind of card advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But I put Double Iris under non-interactive in as much as whenever you have a board with some synchro, I don't remember what level, a rank 4, which there's a great, insane pool of cards for, and 2 pops on your opponent's turn. Ugh, not interactive.
Right. Hey, Mason, you just keep going with this. I got to check my dogs real quick.
Next up, we got Jin, Releaser of Rituals. When this card is used as ritual material, oh gosh, I believe that card is unaffected by other monster effects or something like that. Other effects. Insane. This was a big problem in Necros format, and so we wanted to bring it up here. Let's see what else we got. We got Masterpiece. Masterpiece is True Jaco. Go watch MBT's video for this. It's a long one, but you can skip to the last match, and you will see very quickly why Masterpiece is a problem. The Tyrant Neptune. This one, and this will actually go with another one. Where are you? Where are you? Starving Venom. Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. Basically, both of these cards allow you to copy the effect of another card. Any card that copies another card's effect is broken, period. It does not matter what kind of restriction you put on that. Lithosagem, Lithosagum, not sure how you pronounce it. It's a Dino deck staple, and he needs to stay limited.
It's a level 9. It does a lot. It's an extender. It's really dumb.
There's Victory Dragon. Zach, I don't know if you know this, but Victory Dragon is probably one of the funniest cards ever. When this card deals battle damage to your opponent and brings their life total to 0, Victory Dragon gives you permission to win the match, even if you are in game 3 and you have been getting smoked the whole game,
That's hilarious.
or like game 2 or game 1. If you can pull it off in
And you
game
can
1,
win the
you win the
match.
match. Period.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Topologic Gumblar Dragon is a problem.
Yeah, Gumblar. Uh, it's general for one. It was a big piece of full power Sky Striker, and Sky Striker's whole
Oh,
run over you ability is only enhanced by Gumblar Dragon.
yeah. Gumblar makes them discard their hand, basically.
There
By
it
the
is.
end of the whole combo, yeah. Lavalval Chain, it's too good of an extender. Doesn't need to come back.
Yep.
Shockmaster, oh gosh, what does Shockmaster? Oh, this one's really hard to get off the field. I think that's what that is.
Mm.
As well as Rongaminiad. Very fun. Very fun card. We got Tellarknight Ptolemaeus. Gives pretty much every deck access to Cyber Dragon Infinity, and they don't need that. Let's see here. Our next category. I know that was definitely our longest one, but
Without
our
doubt, but
next
that's okay.
category is the Infinite Loop. This kind of goes along with cards that have FTK ability. Generally, that's what they were used for, but we put them here because they created a very specific kind of problem, right? You could honestly put like Yatagarasu under this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you deal the battle damage one time and your opponent is out of cards, they're not
Right.
going to do a thing.
Right.
So here we got Performer Pal, Skullcrabat, Joker. The fact that it's not once per turn allows it to be just absolutely insane while it's in the Pendulum Zone.
Yeah.
Firewall Dragon, pre-errata. They did release an errata for it. It's coming out pretty soon, isn't it?
Yep, it's coming out in Ghost of the Past, which I'm definitely buying a set, even though I'm probably not going to get anything out of it. Ghost of the Past is coming out soon. It's going to have the reprint of Firewall Dragon. And Firewall Dragon is very reminiscent for players that have been playing for just a little bit because of the FTK that it did enable. It's incredibly general, which is a huge issue. And so because of that, it's able to do a bunch of insane stuff.
Yeah, every time it's sent to the grave, I think you get to add cards back to your hand. It's just absurd.
Ridiculous.
Then Magispector Unicorn Kirin, same kind of thing. You can like special summon this card, and then you can bounce an opponent's card back to hand as well as itself or something. Like imagine Neospatian Grand Mole, but without attacking.
That's just nasty. That's unfair.
Very funny card. Very funny. Next one, we got Draw Power. Zach, take our first one, buddy.
Man, I can help with this one. So first, I'm going to explain the definition of Draw Power. It is to draw excessively.
To be clear, not Pictionary.
No, this is like picking cards up from your deck. Anyway, the first one that I love right here, and I so hope this card comes back, even though honestly it probably shouldn't. The card is Maxi. All right. Anytime you are sitting in a combo format, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Maxi, it should come back. It would slow down combo decks." No, it wouldn't. They don't care.
I'd say I'll still run over everything you got.
That's exactly right. That's exactly it. So, like, even with Maxi, even if throwing it down at the very beginning of the turn, even so, they just have to deal with the fact that their opponent is going to go and get a whole buttload of cards. At that point, I don't think they care because they'll negate everything you try to throw down next turn.
They will.
So, with that being the case, Maxi, it is a very, very cool card. It can slow down depending on how much your opponent wants to give card advantage and how much they think you can actually OTK them. But realistically, it's just, I don't know. It really shouldn't come off the list, if I'm honest. I want it to anyway, but it probably shouldn't. But what it does is it allows your opponent to go and have access to most of their deck. Like, depending on how much the opponent special summons, you will have access to half of your deck at any point, and you just discard the cards you want at the end of the turn, which is essentially your second hand for most modern Yu-Gi-Oh decks. And so we could keep going on that type of idea. We have Perform Age plus Fire Mason. Can you explain this one a little bit? And Monkey Board while we're at it, talking about Pepe.
Basically, PayPay format made these cards real freaking good. They just create a lot of advantage, a lot of searching ability by, I think, destruction, like destroying
Mm,
them themselves, which is just absurd. And I don't know if there's a once per turn on it, which makes it even more insane.
mm,
Oh, Monkey Board is like pay 800 life points or something to search.
that's
Hilariously,
ridiculous.
that card, the reason that's so insane, I think it searches like it's a more general search for pendulum monsters.
Mm,
But Abyss Actor has a card that's nearly identical, Mellow Madonna, which does like you pay 800, you can search any Abyss Actor specifically card, which makes it
mm.
real interesting. Real interesting.
Yeah, and it works out because Abyss Actor sucks.
That's right. But not forever. Man, I wish they got some support cards. That would be awesome.
That would be sick.
So next up, we got the jars. I don't know. I can imagine an Exodia FTK utilizing the jars.
100%. I actually got Exodia in Duel Links the other day.
There is no worse feeling than a freaking 20 card. I can only imagine how a 40 card deck feels, but a 20 card deck feels pretty freaking bad.
Yeah. And of course, the Exodia cards, they only come using one of Yugimoto's skills, which is called My Grandpa's Cards. So they're running a 25 card deck in a 20 card format. And all you have to do is beat over their stuff.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the spells and traps out there are really good.
That they are, and it sucks. So, anyway, I got beat by that the other day, so my day was ruined on that one. I also threw up that day. No, there are some other cards in here. There's MX Saber Invoker and Zodiac Broadbull. Mason, tell us just a little snippet about those.
Sure. So Zodiac Broadbull, I believe, allows you to like special summon a level 4 Lord Beast Warrior from your deck or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's what X Saber does. Close that up. Once per turn, you get to detach one material from this card special summon one level 4 Earth Warrior, Goki, anyone, or Beast Warrior monster from your deck in defense position, but destroy it during
Man,
end phase.
why don't they just mix like War Rock and Goki?
There's pretty much that would make both decks so much better. A million times. But like hilariously, a lot of people like Team Sam recommended using one card from the War Rock stuff.
Is it
Three
War Rock
copies of it.
Mountain?
No, it's I don't remember. But
Anyway.
it's like if you control an Earth Warrior monster, you can special summon it from your hand.
Okay.
Like it's silent boots for them,
Mm-hmm.
which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of those are like special summon from deck kind of cards. So that's why it's a little tougher to bring those back. I don't think there would be a high chance of that ever.
Right.
Next group, tokens. Tokens are a problem, especially with the fact that we have link monsters. We'll just roll through these. All of them produce tokens. That's what you need to know.
Yep.
We got Blackwing, go through the vague shadow. Kind of cool. It's a level like 5 or 6, and you can special summon it if you control no monsters. Instant link 2. Dandelion, also 2 tokens. Grinder Golem. You want to guess? Level Eater. I don't totally remember. Number 42, Galaxy Tomahawk, like Link Cross. All of them produce tokens, and in a link format, that is bad news for everybody.
It's terrible. The amount of general links that exist in the game make it where we simply cannot do this.
Yeah, exactly. All right, FTKs.
This is our final one. Sorry.
Yep. No, go ahead.
This is our final category, so we are almost nearing the end. So, Mason, go ahead.
Samsara Lotus, plant decks. People would like do an FTK where, based on however many plants you had in the grave or something, you could then burn your opponent using Samsara Lotus in some way. Like you could keep destroying that card and infinitely do the combo. It's pretty insane.
That's nuts.
Firewall Dragon. Returning 2 cards a hand. I don't know what cards they were returning, but I do know that this card was the reason for it.
Yep.
Phoenician Cluster Amaryllis. This one and Samsara Lotus kind of work together. They're both plant cards.
Yep.
Just burn your opponent like that. Magical Scientist. This one's an older card. If you don't know, you can pay 1,000 life points to special summon a level 6 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck, regardless of type. There cannot attack directly, I think, and that's it.
See, that's ridiculous because there's some insane fusion monsters level 6 and below in the game.
Yeah, exactly. So, Magical Scientists, especially in conjunction with Makiura the Destructor. Let me look this one up. But basically, paying 1,000 life points really isn't that big of a deal for a lot of people.
No one cares about life points. That's something you'll learn about this game. If you have to pay life points to do it, no one cares.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to OTK you next turn anyway. I don't, whatever.
Exactly. So, Makiura, if it's sent to the graveyard, allows you to activate. But pre-errata, it said you can activate one trap card from your hand this turn. This has since gotten an errata, but I thought it was an interesting one because the two cards, Magical Scientist and Makiura, were used as like OTK, FTK tools back in the day. Supreme King, Dragon Starving Venom. We already went over that. It can copy other cards' effects, which is a problem.
Yep.
Wind Up Carrier Zenmaity. This is like a pseudo FTK by ripping all the cards out of your opponent's hands before they ever get the chance to play the game. Because that's what Wind Up does, apparently.
Yeah. Well, hand loops are a problem. If you've played Water in the past year and a half, then the goal of the deck is just to rip cards out of your opponent's hand. And usually you can rip 3 on a good day.
Like, I would love to hit somebody with that on Duel Links. Whew.
Dude.
Oh, man.
The level of angry that I would be cannot be described. Especially with access to Trishula, the Dragon of the Ice Barrier, the Synchro.
Oh, that would be so good.
Dude, it's used.
Oh, we might have to brew something here.
It's what's used all the time, dude.
Yeah.
And you could also use the fusion as well to hand loop your. Anyway, whole point, it's uninteractive. Unless your opponent is a graveyard heavy mill deck, they won't be able to do much anything at that point. And so it just creates issues. It's like Heart of the Cards guide me and you lose. Like,
and that's it.
So that being the case, the FTK is a big deal. And so all these cards, they're on the ban list. They have their reasons for them. Some of them might actually be able to come off. They aren't terribly hurtful for today's game, but there's other ones where they definitely should never see the light of day again, and that's okay.
Yep. Next week, catch us with the spells and traps.
Yes, we are super excited for that. If you want to interact with us in any capacity, we are on Twitter. We have changed our Twitter handle. It is now, let me make sure I'm not just lying to it should be Duelist 101 Podcast. Let me make sure. Yeah, here we go. Duelist 101 Pod. Follow us on Twitter. We're also on Instagram at official Duelist 101 Podcast, I think.
Yep.
And we have gotten a YouTube channel started. And if you're watching us now, well, obviously you're here. Check us out on the podcast. You can find us all over the place, Apple, Spotify, and whatever podcast thing you might use. I don't know what else there is other than Apple and Spotify.
Overcast, Anchor.fm.
So hit us up on that. We'd love to go and interact with you guys and just leave a comment wherever you can. And thank you guys so much for listening.